Hello lovely viewers, and welcome back to the Bold and the Beautiful News official YouTube channel, your top destination for the most explosive CBS soap updates. Make sure to smash that subscribe button and give this video a huge thumbs up. The air at the Forrester estate was dense with history. It wasn't just the weight of the gold-trimmed chandeliers or the solemnity of the old Forrester portraits that lined the walls, it was the tension simmering beneath the surface, threatening to shatter everything the family had built. A baptism of legacy, in a sense. The beginning of a reckoning. The occasion? A rare family gathering, called under the guise of a celebration for Eric Forrester's miraculous recovery and Ridge's recent engagement announcement. Champagne flowed. Toasts were made. Laughter filled the air. But under that polished facade, secrets bubbled dangerously close to the surface. Ridge stood proudly next to Taylor, holding her hand as they accepted blessings and congratulations. Brooke lingered near the terrace, forcing a smile while gripping her glass too tightly. Steffi, Thomas, and Hope chatted cautiously, sensing something was off. The entire Forrester clan, Zend, RJ, Donna, Katie, even Finn, had gathered. But none of them were ready for what was about to unfold. As the speeches began, Carter stepped forward to say a few words, speaking about family, resilience, and love. His voice was warm. His words comforting. A baptism of hope in a family scarred by betrayals. Then, Eric Forrester rose from his seat, supported by Donna. "My family," Eric began, his voice cracking with emotion, "I have something important to say tonight. Something I've kept inside for far too long." The room stilled. Faces turned. Hearts slowed. The mood shifted like a storm cloud rolling in. Eric looked straight at Ridge. "You are the best of me, Ridge. I have loved you, supported you, been proud of you in ways I can't describe. But the truth is..." "Don't," Ridge warned, eyes narrowing. "I can't die with this lie inside me," Eric said, voice heavy. "You are not my biological son. The baptism of truth begins." A collective gasp tore through the room. Taylor clutched Ridge's hand. Brooke whispered, "No." Eric swallowed hard. "Years ago, your mother, Stephanie, had an affair with a man named Massimo Morone. Ridge, he's your real father. I've known for decades. And I let you believe otherwise." Ridge stood frozen, eyes hollow. "What the hell are you saying? I raised you. I loved you. But biologically, Ridge, I am not your father." For a moment, the world spun off its axis. Everything Ridge believed in, the legacy, the name, the bloodline, suddenly meant nothing. He staggered back, Taylor catching him as he almost collapsed. "You kept this from me all my life?" Ridge's voice was low, trembling, dangerous. Eric's eyes welled up. "Because I loved you. Because I chose to be your father." Encouraging words turned to shocking rejection. Thomas spoke first. "Dad. I didn't know." Steffi shook her head. "So what? We're not Forresters by blood?" Brooke stepped forward, tears in her eyes. "Eric, how could you do this? You built this empire on Ridge's back." Carter whispered to Katie, "This is going to destroy him." But nothing compared to what came next. Ridge stepped forward slowly. Each word was measured. Heavy. Laced with betrayal. "I'm not your son." 6 words. That's all it took. Eric's face crumpled. "Ridge, please." "No," Ridge said, his voice now steel. "You lied. You let me carry your name. Let me fight your battles. Let me bleed for this family. But it was all a lie. I never stopped loving you." Eric cried. "And I did," Ridge snapped. "I did stop loving you. Because you made me live a lie." Donna sobbed in the corner. Taylor covered her mouth. RJ turned away. Angry threats, family shattering in real time. "You don't get to pretend to be noble now," Ridge continued. "You robbed me of my identity. You let me believe I was your son while laughing behind my back. I gave up everything for this family. Eric whispered, you are family. You are my son in every way that matters. No, Ridge replied, cold and final. Massimo Marone is my father. And you're just a man who let his pride destroy me. Brooke reached out. Ridge, don't say something you can't take back. He turned to her. This changes everything, Logan. Everything. Taylor spoke up. Ridge, please. You have to understand, Eric loved you. Then why didn't he tell me? Ridge exploded. Why did he let me spend my entire life chasing his approval, when he knew I was never really his? The room was a war zone now. Emotions flew like daggers. Steffi wept openly. Thomas walked out. Finn pulled Steffi into his arms. Donna pleaded with Eric to sit. Brooke watched her son unravel. The family legacy implodes. I built Forrester, Ridge declared. I gave my life to this name. But I don't belong here. I never did. Eric fell to his knees. You're my son. Please. I raised you. I loved you. Ridge stepped back. Then you should have told me the truth. He looked around the room. And maybe this family deserves the truth. All of it. Maybe it's time the Forresters burned to the ground. He turned and stormed out, leaving chaos behind. Cleric continued to tend to Sheila. I know you were born with 9 lives, but we are cutting it enough near, do not you suppose? Deacon asked. Sheila fooled that she had plenitude of lives left. Deacon admitted how spooked he was when he got the call from the sanitarium. They both allowed. That Sheila's toe situation was fantastic. What are the odds of losing another bone? Sheila laughed. At least it gives us a reason to put toe Eiffels back on the menu. When Sheila wanted to go see Luna, Deacon stopped her and told her to get some rest. Deacon said he'd check on Luna soon. Right now I just need to be with you, what is left of you, he said as they both laughed. Cleric asked Sheila what had happened and how she had set up Luna at the sandhouse. Sheila explained the course of events in detail, shocking Cleric. Sheila felt that she and Luna were veritably important likewise, but Deacon dissented. Sheila still claimed that she saw herself in Luna and did not want to see her go down the same path. I just did not have anyone who understood me or loved me. She does. I suppose I can help her, Sheila said. Please, just go, and see how she is. Cleric gave Sheila a kiss and agreed to do just that. Lee looked at her family in unbelief as Poppy told her that she was glad Luna was dead. Hope, Carter, Steffi, and Finn also could not believe that someone would say that about their own child. Penelope, you are in shock. I do not suppose you completely understand, Lee gently said. No, I understand just fine, Poppy stated nonchalantly. Like I said, I'm glad my son's dead. Lee snappily took Poppy and shoved her into another room. I tell you that your son's dead and you are glad? Lee asked incredulously. It's the verity. Should I prevaricate it? Poppy asked. Lee was floored by what she was hearing. You are disgusting. Luna is your son. Your meat and blood, Lee said. And I am happy to be relieved of her, Poppy said as if it were the most normal thing in the world. You are a terrible mama, a terrible person. Luna no way had a chance, Lee declared. Poppy asked Lee to stop pretending to watch. Luna's still my bastard. My granddaughter. I flashed back Luna as a child. She had these bright eyes, so innocent. Luna was a good girl. I know she'd have turned out else if the only parent raising her was not a lozenge-popping coitus addict. The way you talk about your son after her death? I am shamed to partake a last name with you, Lee wrangled. Poppy still claimed she was relieved. She killed 2 innocent people, tried to kill Steffi, shot Sheila, and Liam. Oh, and she set me up to spoilage in captivity for the rest of my life. Luna was hell-bent on ruining people's lives, and I am happy to no way have to lay eyes on her ever again, Poppy said. Lee told her family that this was all her fault. You benumbed yourself with men and medicines and you could not hear your own son's cry for help, she said. She merited so much further than you. I pity that girl. God rest Luna's poor, tortured soul. Steffi, Finn, and Hope checked in on Liam, who was still unconscious. Liam's family women sat by his bedside as Steffi began talking to him. Liam, it's Steffi and Hope. And we are safe because of you. You stopped Luna. She cannot hurt us presently. You fought for us and now we need you to keep fighting, Steffi said. After the women were gone, Finn tended to Liam before Deacon arrived to see how he was doing. Finn gave him an update and was glad to hear that Sheila was okay. He also asked how Luna was. The coming thing we knew, they were walking into Sheila's room as she cracked jokes with the nanny about her toe. They were forced to tell Sheila that Luna had passed. Sheila broke down in gashes, but Deacon was there to console her. Steffi and Hope returned to the waiting room, where Carter brought them coffee. Ridge and Taylor soon arrived. Steffi shocked them when she told her parents that Sheila saved her life. Ridge tried to be cheering about Liam, telling Steffi that he was a strong sprat. I wish that were true, but Liam has been strong for a while now, Steffi said just as Bill appeared. Steffi told Liam's pater that he did not earn to be there after setting Luna free to do what she did. Luna shot him, and it's because of you, Bill, Steffi cried. She told him to go, but Bill refused. Bill admitted he abominated himself for his bad judgment, but he demanded to see his son. I know. I did this. When I got Luna the amnesty, I was not allowing. I allowed. I could help her, Bill said. He was stupefied when Steffi told him that Luna had pulled a gun on Will. What are you talking about? Why am I just hearing about this now? He asked. Because you're part of the problem. As far as I am concerned, you're the reason Liam is lying in that bed, Steffi cried. Bill broke down in gashes, saying that he'd failed his own son. I failed him the day he came into my life. And he still loved me, Bill said. The verity is, Liam is further of a man than I will ever be, and because of my weakness, he's fighting for his life. I am sorry, but I need to see my son. He has to fight. My son has to live, Bill added, as Steffi angrily walked down in a huff. While Bill argued with the Forresters in the waiting room, Hope again sat with an unconscious Liam. She took his hand and told him that she demanded him to keep fighting. You told me you were not going anywhere anytime soon. I am not ready. I cannot lose you. This cannot be farewell, Hope said in gashes. Soon, Steffi walked into the room. This is not how it ends, Steffi told Hope. Catch all new occurrences of The Bold and the Beautiful weekdays on CBS and Paramount+. As the morning sun crept through the blinds of the hospital chapel, the quiet hum of fluorescent lights mixed with whispers of grief and prayers for survival, and while a baptism had been planned for another day, a ceremony of cleansing and rebirth, what unfolded instead was a metaphorical baptism of fire and sorrow, beginning with Deacon Sharp gently brushing back a stray hair from Sheila Carter's face as she rested in a hospital bed, a familiar smirk playing on her lips even as pain radiated from her body, for despite her toe injury and the chaos she had narrowly survived, she still had the energy to laugh, telling Deacon she must have more lives than a cat and joking about bringing toe-shaped cookies back to the Il Giardino menu, but Deacon's concern remained etched in his furrowed brow as he told her how frightened he had been upon getting the call from the hospital, and though she shrugged it off, he begged her to rest instead of rushing off to check on Luna, saying softly that all he wanted in that moment was to be near her, to hold on to what was left of her after everything they had endured, and when he finally asked what really happened at the beach house, Sheila's face sobered, her voice faltering as she recounted every horrifying second, how she stumbled upon Luna, armed and unraveling, ready to destroy anything in her path, and as Deacon listened, shock turned to dread, for this wasn't just about violence, it was about legacy, about cycles repeating, about history being passed down through blood and silence, and Sheila, her voice laced with regret, insisted she saw herself in Luna, damaged, misunderstood, dangerous, and she was determined to save her from the same road she had walked alone for years, a declaration that made Deacon's heart clench with unease, especially when she pleaded for him to check on Luna for her, believing she could somehow redeem herself through this lost girl. But when Deacon arrived too late to deliver that compassion, the hospital halls had already echoed with the cold and monstrous words of Penelope Poppy Nozawa, who, faced with the death of her own daughter, didn't collapse in grief or scream in denial but simply said, with dead eyes and a voice of stone, that she was glad Luna was dead. And though Lee Finnegan tried to tell her sister she was in shock, tried to remind her that Luna was her child, her flesh and blood, Poppy didn't waver, repeating her cruel relief like a mantra, prompting Lee to drag her into a private room where fury erupted in a blistering confrontation, with Lee accusing Poppy of being a soulless mother who drowned out her daughter's cries with pills and men, of robbing Luna of any chance she had at a decent life, and Poppy, still cold and unrepentant, fired back that Luna had killed innocents, tried to kill Steffi, and nearly destroyed everything in her wake, that her death was not a tragedy but a relief, and as Lee stood there, stunned and disgusted, she spat that Luna had deserved better, deserved a mother, not a narcissistic addict, and that God should have mercy on the tortured soul of the child they had both failed, while elsewhere, in a quieter room, Steffi Forrester and Hope Logan sat at Liam Spencer's bedside, watching machines beep and monitors blink, holding the hand of the man who had taken a bullet to stop the chaos Luna had unleashed, and Steffi whispered to him, reminding him he was their protector, their fighter, urging him to hang on a little longer because he had saved them from a nightmare and now they needed him to survive it too. And once they stepped out to let Finn check his vitals, Deacon arrived to ask about Luna's condition, only for Finn to deliver the grim update that she hadn't made it, news that forced Deacon to take Sheila's hand as they walked into her room and gently told her the truth, breaking the woman who had faced down murder charges and prison time but who now wept like a child over a life she couldn't save, even as she had saved Steffi's, a truth that rippled through the hospital when Ridge and Taylor arrived and Steffi stunned them with the confession that it was Sheila, of all people, who had saved her life, a statement that made Ridge reel. But before he could process the revelation, Bill Spencer charged into the waiting area, desperate to see his son, only for Steffi to block him with fury in her eyes, blaming him for everything, for setting Luna free with a pardon, for giving a dangerous girl another chance to destroy lives. And though Bill begged for understanding, admitting he had been wrong, saying he thought he could help Luna, it all rang hollow to Steffi, who revealed that Luna had even pointed a gun at Will, Bill's younger son, and Bill's face crumbled under the weight of that news, his breath stolen by guilt as he realized the depth of his mistake, and as Steffi walked away in tears, Bill fell apart, confessing to the Forresters that he had failed Liam from the day he was born, that his son, braver, stronger, more noble than he ever was now in a coma because of his cowardice, and that if Liam didn't make it, he didn't know how he'd live with himself, and as that raw emotion filled the waiting room, Hope sat once more beside Liam, tears sliding down her cheeks as she held his hand, whispering to him that this couldn't be the end, that he promised he'd be there, that she wasn't ready to say goodbye, that too much had been left unsaid, and as Steffi entered quietly behind her and placed a hand on her shoulder, she echoed the same sentiment. This was not how their story was supposed to end, not now, not like this, and together, the women who had loved Liam most sat in silent prayer, as somewhere down the corridor, a woman mourned the child she never knew how to love, another woman questioned if redemption was even possible, and a man faced the consequences of the compassion that had cost his son everything, while a hospital echoed with the sounds of forgiveness, fury, grief, and hope, each soul, in their own way, being baptized anew by the fire of loss, the waters of remorse, and the desperate longing for one more chance to set things right, because in Los Angeles, no one ever stays clean for long, and no secret stays buried forever, especially when love, blood, and legacy are on the line. Wedding shocker, Eric drops DNA truth about Ridge's daughter. Bold and the beautiful. Fire Eric exposes family secret at the wedding, she's not yours, Ridge. BNB spoilers. Broken heart Ridge stunned by Eric's revelation, Taylor HID the truth for years. Bold and beautiful. DNA you've been lied to. Eric reveals Ridge raised the wrong daughter. BNB bombshell. Police car light wedding interrupted. Eric blows up Ridge and Taylor's big day with secret. BNB twist. Man detective not his daughter? Eric drops a paternity bombshell mid-wedding. Bold and beautiful. Exploding head Eric destroys the wedding with one line, "She's not your daughter, Ridge." B&B spoilers. Performing arts Eric reveals the truth Taylor hid for decades, wedding turns to chaos. B&B drama. Warning DNA shocker. Ridge learns the truth at the altar, Eric can't keep the secret. Bold end.